Started my hospitality career a ways back in accounting originally, but have been started working in revenue management 7 or 8 years ago now, and then about a year ago I've moved into more business intelligence. Still holding some revenue responsibility, more on the configuration and the algorithm, and making sure that our the system's doing what we want it to do as far as a rate standpoint and our strategy and stuff like that. Yeah, so GrandWelcome, like I said, started here about 2.5 years ago now. When I originally started, we had about 5 corporate locations, mostly on the West Coast. But we at that time they had just launched their franchise model of business. At the time that I came on board, we were maybe 5 franchises at that time, and as of today, I think we're pushing about 70. So we've had some pretty rapid growth these last 2.5 years. Like I said, we're gearing towards the franchise model. We still have a few what we call legacy or corporate locations that we're holding on to that we still manage everything. But we're really pushing the franchise, and we've really expanded. Like I said, we're up to like 70, I think now, all across the U.S. Before software solutions came in the picture, I don't know how we did it. It's amazing to me that I spent the first 4 years of my career without a revenue management software, doing everything manually in the system. Really, having to do all our research manually as far as looking up our competition online and doing like actual rate shops. Looking back to that, I don't know how we had the time to do everything. It was been kind of crazy to think back to like actually manually going in and making these daily changes. And actually, the first time I was really exposed to revenue management software is when I started with GrandWelcome. Is the first time I came on board, and they were using a different system than PriceLabs at the time. And then about a month in, they had already been talking with PriceLabs. So when we signed up with them, it was kind of when I came on board, we were already set to go to PriceLabs. So I've only had experience with two, one of them only for a month. But since moving to PriceLabs, just when we moved over, it was light years, better than the one we were on before. And ever since then, it's just been a lot more convenient using a system that can kind of, look for the time of year that maybe you're not paying the most attention to it right now, right? Like 6, 7, 8, whatever your time frame is. It's nice to know that you have a system that can kind of back you up if you can't catch everything, especially when we're in as many locations as we are. It's been absolutely amazing. It just the way that it, instead of it just being like the same year over year and being kind of universal for a larger area, the fact that it now hones in on a smaller, more subset area on a unit level basis, and it changes with the times, and the occupancy has been absolutely phenomenal. Like seasonality is kind of seasonality. We understand that, but the last 3 years have not been normal. So sometimes looking back at what old seasonality was isn't necessarily the best bet. You kind of got to look at what the current market is doing, what forward looks like instead of just back, because over the last couple of years we can't always look back. It's misleading for what's coming forward. So now that your new algorithm really reacts to what's going on in the future, not just looking at the past, has been great helping us, like I said, being more efficient, getting our stuff live, and not having to worry so much about doing our own analysis there. Has launched your new seasonality algorithm, which, in my opinion, has been absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's no longer just a static. And when I say static, I mean it's no longer just a set, right, seasonality for each market based off of like a general area. You guys are really now using it almost like the demand factor, where you're looking at more honed in, more light comp sets, seasonality over the years. And not only that, but your seasonality is now dynamic, where it's actually changing with the times and with the everything going on in our market. That has been probably the greatest feature I think you guys have had. Um, the individual comp sets on the unit level. So in your guys' neighborhood section, you guys a while back added the ability to select, I think, up to like 10 specific units in the area that you could kind of like get a graph and a chart for to see like how your units, you could really hone in each individual unit, individual comp set. That was a big one. Is the subgroup option where now we can put in, we can have obviously a parent group to kind of segregate our units, but we can also add a subgroup with maybe some additional like settings that we only want for a specific set of units. Security settings and user settings. I know you guys, when you guys first launched, you guys were just getting into like the multi-user type account settings, where I think you guys just launched it. I think that was like one of the things we had to have or something when we first launched, was ability to have more than one user log in at a time. And since then, we've asked for multiple other updates, like multiple admins, multiple view only type access and stuff. Like I said, as we're growing, we have multiple users, and we don't want them to have access to necessarily everything. It's been an amazing journey. It's been a great partnership. So to see where you guys are going, to know that you guys have taken a lot of what we've asked for and have implemented it. So we're super appreciative of that. And like I said, it's added to all the efficiency of being able to, really scale our business as we're continuing to grow rapidly and be efficient and making sure we're getting into these markets, not only, fast and quick, but knowing that our pricing strategy when we enter into them is going to be sound.